Hello everyone and welcome to this video where we will summarize the paper pattern for the English language for the 10th standard Marathi medium students. Now you must have already completed your 9th standard and are just gearing up to start your studies for the 10th standard book. So let me help you with the board paper pattern for the English language, and through this let me try to give you a small glimpse into how our target publications My English Course Notebook can help you study in the best way for your English paper at the 10th standard board examinations. So let's begin with understanding the paper pattern. As you can see that the English paper is a 100 marks paper that you will have to attempt for 3 hours. Now, if you take a look at the paper pattern, you have the language study section for 20 marks, the textual passages section for 20 marks where you have 2 passages, each of 10 marks. You have the poetry section for 15 marks, the unseen or the non-textual passages section for 15 marks, the writing skills sections again for 20 marks, and the skill development section, which is unique to the Marathi medium's English language paper, that is for 10 marks, and that totals a 100 mark paper. Let's break this down question by question. If we take a look at question 1, you will see that question 1, which is the language study section, is made up of 2 subsections, that is question 1A and question 1B. And each of this is the do as directed type of questions. Now these carry 16 marks and 4 marks respectively, totaling 20 marks for your language study section. Now, as you must know by now, the language study section is the section where you can score the maximum amount of marks. And to help you score full marks in your language study section, we at Target Publications have provided you with a separate language study section in our books. Now, this language study section is an additional section which gives you extra questions to solve so you can score the maximum amount of marks in your language studies. But of course, this is only an additional attempt. Besides this, you also have the language studies section under every single chapter in your My English course book. Now, finally, we know that for Marathi medium students, the English language paper can be a little bit tricky. And therefore, not only have we given you questions in Do As Directed, we have also given you a revision of the grammar concepts. So if you have forgotten what your grammar concepts are, which is natural, you can refer to a separate grammar section which includes theory on what exactly these concepts are. So you can peruse this section and remember and revise the grammar concepts and then attempt your language study questions. Now moving on to question 2. In question 2, you will see that question 2A has a textual passage for comprehension, and so does question 2B. So these are 2 passages, each of 10 marks. And in each of these passages, you have 5 different types of questions: the simple factual, complex factual, vocabulary-based, grammar-based, and finally the open-ended and personal response kind of questions. Now let me show you how we have provided to help you with all of these questions in our My English Coursebook notes. You can see that the chapters are divided into extracts in our notes, and under each of these extracts you will find all the 5 different types of questions. Particularly keep in mind that the open-ended and personal response questions are what the Marathi medium students often find difficult, and therefore we have given you practice of these type of questions in every single extract of every single chapter or poem in your My English course book. So our extracts cover all the 5 different types of questions. Question 3 then deals with poetry. And out of this, question 3A is the section which is based on poems for comprehension. In this, you will have 3 types of questions: simple factual, complex factual, and vocabulary or poetic devices based questions. And in question 3B, you will have a poem for appreciation. Now look how many marks the appreciation is worth. The appreciation of the poem is a 10-mark question in which you will have to write your appreciation based on these 8 points, namely the title, the name of the poet, the theme or the central idea of the poem, mention the rhyme scheme, write down what figures of speech are important, what are the special features of the poem, write down what are your favorite lines, and finally why you like or dislike this poem. And as you can see that the questions in question 3A are worth 5 marks, whereas the appreciation is a 10-mark question. So that's a large chunk of your marks. And to help you with this, let's see what is provided in your My English coursebook. You can see that every poem in your target publications notes also has what we call as the paraphrase. Now this paraphrase basically explains the meaning of the poem to you in simple words, and especially for those students for whom English language is a slightly difficult endeavour, we have provided this extra benefit so you can understand what the poem is all about. Now after the paraphrase, you will see that the poem is also divided into excerpts, and under each extract you will find the 3 different types of questions which are necessary to solve and attempt your paper, that is the simple factual questions, the complex factual questions, and the vocabulary or poetic devices types of questions. And finally, of course, we have provided you with the appreciation of each and every poem in your syllabus, in your target publications notes. As you can see, the appreciation of the poem has been broken down point by point so you can understand and remember it better. So this is our poetry section. Now remember, we have also provided you with an extra benefit in the poetry section which is unique to your target publications book. And this benefit is that we have included a video in your book through the use of QR codes. And once you scan this QR code, it will take you to a link that is to a video where you can understand the poem. The video enables you to understand the poem. It explains the central idea of the poem and also helps you with the figures of speech and the difficult words of the poem for better understanding. So you can scan the QR code at the end of every single poem in your target publications book, and it will take you to a lucid explanation of all that you need. Now finally, let's move on to question 4. Now in question 4, you will see question 4A is an unseen or a non-textual passage based question. In this again you have the 5 different types, that is the simple factual, complex factual, vocabulary based, grammar based, and finally the open-ended or the personal response type of questions. In question 4B, you have to write a summary of the same unseen passage that is there in question 4A. Now question 4A is a 10-mark question and question 4B is a 5-mark question. The summary must include 3 separate points, that is, write a title for this passage, that is, suggest a title for the passage. Remember to expand upon the central idea or the theme of the passage, and finally make sure you are using appropriate language to sense the tone that the passage is trying to set, and this will total 5 marks. Now to give you ample practice in this section, we have included unseen passages in your target publications notes, and all of these unseen passages are divided into the 5 different types of questions, that is the simple, complex, vocabulary, grammar, open-ended or personal response type of questions, covering your entire paper pattern for the unseen passage. Of course, then we have also given you a large number of examples to practice your summary writing. The next question, that is the question 5, deals with writing skills. In this section, we begin with our writing skills section, and here in question 5A, we have the letter writing, which could be an informal or a formal letter, which will be worth 5 marks, and in question 5B, you will be given either to write a dialogue or to draft a speech. Now let's see what is available to you in our target notes to help you with this section. You can see that under letter writing, we not only will obviously provide you with examples of letters, but we have also included a description on how to write a letter, what each part of the letter should indicate, and have given you a certain guidelines on how to write the best kind of letter. And after these guidelines, of course, we have included informal letters as well as formal letters. And next we have also provided you with examples of dialogue writing, and you know that in dialogue writing there are three different ways in which you could be asked a question based on this section. You could either be asked to form a dialogue from a given number of sentences, that is, prepare a dialogue from jumbled sentences, or you could be asked to complete the dialogue, or finally you could be asked to completely write the dialogue between two people. So these are three different types of ways in which they can ask you a question on dialogue writing, and you can see for yourself that we have covered every single type of dialogue writing example. Next, we also have, of course, examples based on speech writing to help you with this section. And then we move on to question 6, where in question 6a we are dealing with information transfer, which could be verbal to non-verbal or non-verbal to verbal. One of them will come in your paper for 5 marks. And in question 6b, we have expand the theme, which is again worth 5 marks. And in expand the theme, as you can see in B1, you could be asked to expand the proverb, or write a news report, or write the description of a place, person, situation, or develop a story, or narrate an experience. In fact, B1 and B2 is the same type of question, and you could be given an option between any two of these types. Now keep in mind, as you can see, there are many types of ways in which they can ask you a question in question 6b, and you will see that we have covered this in our target notes. As you can see, for information transfer, we have given you examples on non-verbal to verbal, on verbal to non-verbal. For the next question, we have included examples of expansion of proverb, writing a news report, narrating an experience, or describing a place, a person, or a situation, or finally even developing a story. So you can see every single type of question that could possibly be asked in your paper has been covered in your target publications My English Coursebook. We come to the final and the most unique section of the English language paper for Marathi medium students, that is the skill development section. In this section, question 7a is what we call as the live English section, which is for 5 marks, and question 7b is the translation section, again for 5 marks. Now, as you can see, the translation question could be of 3 types. You could be asked to translate words from English to Marathi, or translate sentences from English to Marathi, or translate sentences back from Marathi to English. And you can see that in our book you have a separate live English section created especially to help you tackle this portion of the paper. And finally, of course, you also have a separate translation section in which we give you practice of every single type of question that can be asked in your paper, translating words from English to Marathi, or translating sentences from English to Marathi, and finally even translating sentences from Marathi back to English. And so this completes your general paper pattern. I'd like to take this moment to also point out that in our books we have been giving you a glossary, that is the meaning of different words, and we do this not only in English, but the meaning is also provided to you in Marathi so that you can understand the meaning of words in a language that you are most comfortable with. Finally, we have also included 2 model question papers for practice, and with the cherry on top, we have also included the latest board question paper, that is the 2019 board question paper in our books, so that you can also solve the latest paper and see exactly where you stand when you solve this paper before your examination. So this completes my summary of the board paper pattern for the English language for the Marathi medium students of Standard 10th. I hope you have understood the different tenets of the board paper, and you will go out there and purchase your very own targets My English Coursebook so that you can prepare for this paper in the best way. Thank you for watching.